Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on that show, and we're here to start our next division. We just went through the NFC South, gave my season previews for all four of those teams. Now we're here to talk about the Houston Texans and the AFC South. And the Texans really surprised me last year, way ahead of schedule. Made the playoffs with C.J. Stroud. He looked like a top 5 quarterback last year. And they added some additions in the offseason, with Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs to help their offense. Upgrade running back, another receiver you already have with Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and then Dalton Schultz. Their offense is looking really good. The thing they can improve is their defense, which I think they done a solid job. Besides losing Jonathan Grenard. Other than that, I felt they had a perfect offseason. Yeah, it's just kind of my little opener out there, my little what do they say, monologue to start this. So let's get into the season preview. So the Texans, they were perhaps a year ahead of schedule, where everyone expected them to be. Everyone expected them to be a bottom team with a rookie quarterback and a head coach combo, with D'Amico Ryans coming over from San Francisco as their defensive coordinator, head coach. He's going to be their future head coach for years to come. C.J. Stroud's going to be their future quarterback for years to come. This is going to be a great quarterback head coach combo, but nevertheless, they ended up winning their division. I really didn't expect that because the Jaguars had such a big lead and they just choked, and the Texans come out of nowhere. They win that last game against the Colts again in the playoffs, and upsetting the Browns in the opening round of the playoffs. They eventually lost to the Ravens. They kept it close for a while, but the Ravens eventually pulled away in that game. That was kind of expected with a young team against a veteran team with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. But there's no doubt the future's going to be bright there, and I liked what they did this offseason to get him better. But for their veteran additions this offseason, really like what they did. Running back Joe Mixon, I think that'll be an upgrade over Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary was solid for them last year, but I like the addition of Joe Mixon. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs. He kind of had, I guess, a down year, but the second half of the year, when the Bills got that new offensive coordinator, I believe Dorsey, what the fuck was his name, Dorsey or something like that. They really ran the football a lot. They really didn't throw the football a lot. Even when they did, they really didn't throw to Stephon Diggs. But it's not like he's going to be the number one receiver. I don't know. He's going to be the number one receiver for them. I don't know. But they had 3 talented receivers in Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Stephon Diggs. Defensive end Daniel Hunter, really liked this pickup. One of the more underrated defensive ends in the league past few years for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, not back with them, went to Houston. Really liked that move to add to their pass rush. And you're basically replacing Jonathan Grenard with Daniel Hunter. So they're both defensive ends. Defensive tackle Folu Fatusaki, defensive tackle Danico Autry, defensive tackle Mario Edwards, defensive tackle Tim Settle, linebacker Aziz Al-Shair, linebacker, I believe that was with the 49ers. That's a good addition, former, he used to play for D'Amico Ryans, who was the defensive coordinator at the time. Cornerback Jeff Okudah, maybe they could try and get his career, get that potential where it should be. You can remember when he was at, I think he was either top 5 or top 10 pick a few years ago in the NFL draft. Cornerback Miles Bryant, cornerback C.J. Henderson, safety Lonnie Johnson, and punter Tommy Townsend. So that's their veteran additions. For their early draft picks, they drafted cornerback Kamari Lassiter, offensive tackle Blake Fisher, safety Caden Bullock, and tight end Cade Stover. Wide receiver converted to tight end. Off-season losses, running back Devin Singletary, offensive tackle George Fant, offensive tackle Josh Jones, center Michael Dieter, defensive end Jonathan Grenard, which I thought was their biggest loss this offseason. Defensive end Jerry Hughes, defensive tackle Malik Collins, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle Hassan Ridgeway, linebacker Blake Cashman, linebacker Denzel Perryman, cornerback Steve Nelson, he retired this offseason, cornerback Tavier Thomas, safety Kareem Jackson, safety Eric Murray, and punter Cameron Johnston. They let him go to bring in Tommy Townsend. So, that's the main things I want to go over. So, for their offense this year, C.J. Stroud, he'll prove last year wasn't a fluke. Because, sometimes these rookie quarterbacks could have one good year and then they turn out to be a bust. But C.J. Stroud, I don't think so. Just too much talent on offense to just for people to say it's a fluke. Because there's just too much talent now. Because you have Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon. Diggs, Collins, and Dale will be excellent. I think Mixon, like I said, will be a huge upgrade over Singletary. I think Schultz will be reliable as usual. He was for my Cowboys when we had him. He's a really underrated player for the Texans. He'll definitely be reliable. And I think the O-line is solid. And I think the defense will be better than last year because you added Daniel Hunter to that team. Azeez Al-Shaair. I'm for him. So yeah, for my record prediction, I'm gonna say the Houston Texans will go 12-5. I think they're gonna be better than last year. So they made some upgrades I like. But yeah, that's all I got. See you next time. Out the light. Peace.